All right. Hate to do an episode by myself. Apparently Kevin needed a vacation too. First Blake, and now I'm starting to think it's me. I don't know. Maybe it's a BO problem. I'll talk to my doctor. Is a pediatrician a doctor still for an adult? Hold on. I got a guy we can call. Let's see. Do another co-host interview.
Yeah, go for Blake.
Hey, Blake, this is Jason calling from the Couch Pilots program. Looking for a temporary co-host for the show. Do you have a minute to talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did I catch you? I mean, we can do it later if you want. Did I catch you in the middle of something?
Well, I was peeing.
Peeing?
Peeing.
Hey, if you're American in the bathroom and outside the bathroom, what are you while going to the bathroom?
What?
European. Hey, are you busy right now?
Oh, no.
Hey, why don't
Not
you
busy.
you want to come? You want to come back and do Couch Pilots again?
I was just getting ready to unload all my my luggage and stuff.
Careful.
But yeah,
Okay.
But unloading my.
Yeah, I don't. First, you're in the
luggage.
bathroom. I don't know if you're doing a sit down pee and then you're
No,
going to unload.
I just got back. I just got back about I just got off a plane maybe 45 minutes ago.
Look,
But
Kevin.
yeah,
Kevin crapped out on me on he said he needed a vacation too, just like you said. So I need a co-host. And you said you had went on vacation, so that will help me fill in some time here, some content time. Will you come? Will you please come do Couch Pilots?
No, sure. I mean, I would never leave you hanging.
I heard a snicker there, or is that releasing gas?
I'm in it.
All right, come do the show.
What's up, buddy?
We'll have to edit this out.
Edit what out?
We're gonna go right to the opening.
Oh,
All right. Let's see.
She used to be an actress.
she ever do anything I saw?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
What's a pilot?
Well, you know these shows on TV?
I don't watch TV.
Yes, but you're aware there's an invention called television, and on that invention they show shows?
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick up the shows on TV is they make one show. That show is called a pilot, and they show that one show to the people who pick their shows. And on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs, and some don't and become nothing. She starred in one of the ones that became nothing.
Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with me is my eye man. It's the return of Captain Philip Restisher. Good evening.
Guess who's back?
Back
again.
again.
Rest assure's back.
Back.
Tell your girlfriend.
Tell your friend.
Hey, buddy.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? You're back.
I'm back. For worse or for better, I'm back. But I got your phone call.
There's no one like you.
Well,
I can't wait for the nights with you.
you know, when
I imagine the things
I'll
we'll
wait. I'll
do.
wait.
I just wanna be loved by you. No one like you.
what's very ironic about that is last Sunday I was sitting up in my living room with my lovely wife, and we were watching a TV show while downstairs there was recordings of Karaoke Big E going on.
Right.
And there was about 3 different times where my wife, she's my life. My wife looked over at me and went,
Did you say, "Hey, idiot, you knew what I was doing before you married me"?
No.
Do you call her idiot?
No.
That's good. That you know what? That probably speaks to me.
Yeah,
and my eternal loneliness.
In therapy, that's one of the things. The first thing the therapist said is, "You're gonna need to quit calling her an idiot."
Well,
and I said, "Oh, well, here's your $300 for the hour."
I'm excited to have you back. We had Kevin Clark fill in, Captain Chemo Slice. He did 6 episodes with me. I'm super excited, and I'm very happy and thrilled with the episodes he did. I think he did a terrific job. He really helped me out when I needed him.
Everybody did a great job.
Yeah, and we had some great guests on, Scott and my sister. We had a bunch of phone calls for fake phone calls for interviews. I think it went really well, but there's no one like you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming back.
I'm very humbled.
I want to get more into that, but first we have to get our guest in here.
Yeah, this show is jam-packed.
Oh, it's stuffed to the gills.
We might not even talk about the hour and 45-minute pilot because we'll have so much other stuff to talk about.
We're going to talk about it minute for minute, second for second. We're going to break it down. But first, let's get our guest in. Do you want to welcome him in?
This gentleman has been. Is that in one ear?
I'm getting it. Like, not even in the ear. It's just like it's shooting it directly into the middle of my forehead.
Oh, I got you. This gentleman is a podcaster of many genres. I created a monster, I think. Mm-hmm.
You're Dr. Frankenstein.
I don't think I should have.
No, yeah.
He's so good, but I know it's less time with his work, less time with his family, less time with his wife, but the goddamn guy is good at it. Let's welcome to the show from Dishing Disney, Drunken Lullabies, Drunk at the Movies, The Importance of Seeing Ernest. Every podcast you could possibly think of. I think he had a softball podcast at one time as well. And I do think he had a nutrition podcast at one time as well.
Yeah, he did.
It was called D's Nuts. Let's welcome to the show the Dappercaster, Dustin.
Hey, everybody.
Ow!
Let's get things cracking.
There
It's
it
nice
is.
to be back.
We haven't got it cracking in a long time.
We haven't. I got it cracking a little bit earlier during that warm-up, but Jason asked me to do the show, and he said it was going to be your return show, and I was like, are there any other shows available? And then
it's a lot of pressure.
Like, no, and I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Let's go.
Well, we'll get into what we're doing and
Actually,
why
you were
we're
like,
doing it.
why didn't you call me while he was on vacation?
I thought there was going to be a parade involved with your return.
No.
I didn't want to get in the way.
We'll get into why you're here and what we're doing as far as the show we're focusing on today first. But I do want to spend a little bit more time with Captain Philip Ressasher here and what he did on his radical sabbatical.
There's been a lot of questions in regards to where was I? Mm-hmm. What was I doing? Was I in rehab? Was I arrested? Did I have COVID?
Mm-hmm. All of the above.
It could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Answer the questions. What happened?
Well, I'm really not supposed to talk about it, but...
Okay, no problem.
Nope, but...
He signed an NDA.
But...
I love Michael Jordan.
It's all about the exclusive, right?
Yeah. Give us the exclusive.
Yeah, I want the tea.
I was, about a month ago, I got an email, and it was from the producers of Utopia.
No
and
Wait. Are you talking about the Utopia that you and one of our fan favorite guests, Amanda, the short-lived reality Fox television show, Utopia, that you love?
Right, I
I
loved
used
it.
to watch it.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
And Dustin loves it too.
And they were looking for, a semi-famous airline pilot.
What?
And they contacted me and said, hey, would you like to do this? I was like, well, I got this podcast. I do it every week. And they're like, is there anything you can do to come and, we're gonna shoot for a month,
So they were courting you to be on-camera talent?
Oh, yeah, and I was first on the call sheet. They told me first
on the call
first
sheet?
on the reality show call sheet.
Above the line?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And you know me, I love Utopia. I long for Utopia.
Is it with the same people? Is
No.
There the top heavy redneck girl?
No. This was all
the top heavy girl, was she there?
It was a reboot.
Oh, well, a reboob for the top
Yeah, it was
heavy
a
girl.
reboob. Walt Disney World and Disney Productions, they bought the rights to Utopia, which originally was a European show.
Yes, we did some research, and I do remember that much.
And they were like, "We hear you on your podcast. You know, you're a wonderful a pilot.
You got that golden throat,
and we think that you just have all the makings of all the problems that would be great for a reality show. Your wife hates you. You drink too much. You have low self-esteem, and you like transgender Instagram and feeds and
Bobby socks
and Bobby socks. And they're like, "Come do the show." And I was like, but they're like, "You can't tell anybody." So when I was talking to Jason, I was like, "Hey, my life's a mess. Everything's out of control. I'm drinking too much. I'm just burned out. I don't think,
The real reason he gave me, which I now know to be false, was that he was jerking off punks under the McCluggage Bridge for $10 a man.
Right, and then it got cold, and so
yeah, it did. We had the first snowfall,
and his knuckles froze out.
All that ice storm really put a damper on how things were going.
So
put a death grip on those dicks.
You said Disney acquired the rights to Utopia. Now, are they rebranding it as Zootopia? And if so, what animal are you playing?
No, it's still Utopia.
I think you should be the rabbit.
It's still Utopia, but here's the thing: half the people on the show are people like me, like just normal everyday Joes.
Handsome,
tall, beautiful,
golden throat,
have most of their teeth,
but
top heavy.
But half of them are cast members from Disney World in Florida who dress up as a character.
He said cast members.
Okay,
that is factually accurate.
Yeah.
Yes, my niece just got fired recently from Walt Disney, so I know all the lingo.
Was she fucking in the suit?
Was she giving hand jobs under the bridge?
No, nobody was coming to
under the drawbridge.
Under the drawbridge.
Under the bridge downtown.
I was whacking off Goofy.
It's surprising how many Under the Bridge songs there are.
You know how Goofy comes? Gorgeous.
Good Lord. I honestly, I didn't know that.
Actually, we talked about 15 minutes before that. I set that up.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow, well done, guys.
No, we have a lot. We have like an hour of Goofy orgasm humor to come. Oh, see?
That's part of
happening.
Throw the pun work in there, and it's golden, baby.
Yeah. So we filmed for a month, and
so it did work out. You went there and filmed it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was in charge. I was in charge of the entertainment of the group. Like that's
sure you were.
I got in there, and
the jerking off,
the jerking off part,
finger blast, and then jerking off.
And I was like about 2 weeks into it, I was like, guys, there's more to me than just jerking people off. I'm funny.
I'm more than just a jerk off machine.
I can tell jokes while I do this.
Yeah. And I can tell you how much I hate myself while I jerk you off.
So is this coming soon to Disney?
Well,
hilarious.
Right now it's in production.
Okay.
The editing and stuff. So we don't know.
So that's the real reason that you took time off is to shoot a reboobed version of your favorite reality show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's worth it.
I don't blame him at all.
And that's why I didn't contact you guys. That's why I didn't email. That's why I didn't text or message anybody.
Well, yeah, because otherwise we'd have to sign things that you communicate.
Like boobs.
Yeah.
Sign boobs.
In an NBA agreement he was talking about earlier.
Love
Michael
Charles
Jordan.
Barkley.
Oh, you're a Barkley guy? Never got a ring. Never got a ring.
What do you think is so
round
bitter?
mound of rebound.
Everyone loves Charles Barkley. Like Charles Barkley is loved, where the greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan, not really like he's not a great guy. He's not a good guy.
Sure.
But everyone loves Barkley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he got the job done. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he did.
Dude, Barkley got all up on them boards, man. He was all about the boards.
He's one of the best. No doubt about it. Well, like I said, Kevin filled in, did great,
Great job.
But you're the real deal Holyfield, and you're back, and there's nothing like the magic that you and I can create. And then Dustin's here.
Yeah, it's nothing like being forced back onto the show.
Yep.
I'm very excited.
You're not forced at all. Good Lord. We'll have to edit that out. Dustin,
blink twice if you were under duress.
Yeah. Which one of us?
That's like when you go to a bar and a lady goes to take a huge shit, and there's a poster in the bathroom is like, order an angel shot and we'll call the police. You know, like all these different code drinks you can order if you don't like the guy that you're with or if he's harassing.
Really?
You never seen that?
Well, I'm not a lady that takes a shit in a bar often, so yeah, I guess not.
This is some Instagram post that Blake sent me from a transgender site. Yeah. But it does make sense. It does make sense if a lady is in duress.
Yeah.
But I tell you, when I was not in duress, it was during the intro of the program when Dustin was doing his version of Andy Kaufman.
Good.
Thank you.
It was good.
Yeah, that happened.
That is
Foreign Man.
okay. I was gonna say Foreign Man is a character that Andy Kaufman did in his stand-up act, but it also kind of transformed him into his character on
Balky Bartakamos?
Balky Bartakamus
Yes.
from Perfect
Don't
Strangers.
be ridiculous.
Oh,
thank you very much.
From Taxi.
Cousin Larry.
Appleton.
That's right.
It was Taxi and it was a different name. But
yeah,
you know.
it was Laka.
Yeah. Ooh, a delicious cake, a Jewish cake. I'll have two.
It was
Hanukkah's
it was a lot of laughs on Taxi, right? I'm back, baby.
I have to turn that up a little bit. All right. Yes, Dustin, today, and I usually say it in the second segment of the show, and we'll get there, but we're watching Hymen today.
No, it's pronounced Iman.
Hymen.
Ivan.
I thought it was Iman.
Hymen.
The Hymen?
Hymen.
Ooh, I know what the hymen is.
What's that?
That's when somebody's choking.
Is that right? The Hymen Maneuver?
Yeah. You break their hymen. Whenever a virgin is choking, you break their hymen.
You have to stick your fingers in the vaginal canal to lodge loose the food in their throat.
Right. And if you're a really polite guy, you put two in the pink and one in the stink.
Yeah. That's called what?
That's called the shocker.
The shocker.
Old school,
E-liquid.
baby. eliquid.com. Go there. Classy vape.
I still follow a couple of those people.
Yeah, that was a great time. Johnson City, Tennessee. You send us an email, won't you, please, if you want details on that. But Hymen was a made-for-TV movie, like the world of Disney in the 1980s. And as we hinted at earlier, Dustin, you do a podcast with your betrothed called Dishing Disney, where you talk about Disney stuff. And I was on an episode where we talked about Hymen.
It is true. It was about a year ago.
Yeah.
And we did a crossover month in January, and we had both of you guys on. Blake, I made him watch Fuzz Bucket again.
Yeah, you were on years ago.
Yeah.
Kind of a similar premise where Disney had created a made-for-TV movie, but I think, was that only like an hour long?
Yeah. Fuzz Bucket was like 45 minutes tops.
And so that was another version where it's like Sunday night movie the family can enjoy. Here's Fuzz Bucket.
Yeah.
And it met our requirements because that was essentially a vehicle to propel this to be a television series.
Right. And this program we watched, Hymen, was one that I liked as a kid. I had on a blank videotape.
That's right.
I taped over it and never saw it again. And I would scour eBay early internet tape traders and stuff, trying to find this movie. And eventually it popped up on YouTube when we started doing Dishing Disney. And I was like, we need to do this.
Jump on it before it's removed.
Yeah.
Right, because Disney's going to get their hands on it eventually.
Right, Disney Plus was out at that point, and it wasn't on there. So I'm like, it's going to happen eventually.
You know, you had mentioned when we were setting this up, is like I went back and I listened to the Dishing Disney episode that we did on this.
Yeah,
and
you can find it on your favorite podcast app.
And I was like, I should do the same. So just last night, I listened to it as well. And I think we recorded it mid-end January, came out beginning of February. And we referenced COVID-19 in the program. And that was about 5 weeks before everything hit the fan. Yeah, we set the trends with pandemics.
You guys opened the box, huh?
We did.
Yeah.
And then we gave him the Hymen Maneuver.
With Iman.
That's right.
You guys cough on each other and stuff.
Well, Andy cough on each other.
Hey-o.
Thank you very much.
That's only in one
is
ear.
that loud enough?
That's only in one ear. I don't know why that is.
It's in my left.
It's obviously
Unless
because
my headphones are backwards.
It's been moved. There's a bar on the bottom. There's a bar on the bottom of that file.
It needs to
should
be in the middle. Hold on, let me try. Let me try now.
We got the fade.
Nope, you're not doing it. You're not doing it right.
Hold on, there it is. There. Hold on. Gotta move it with the. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Someone moved it. It was probably me. So this is a like part 2, and I imagine the final part of the crossover episode situation with us and Hymen.
We've come full circle now. We took a year off. You guys, you did Fuzz Bucket, waited, we revisited it, we did Hymen, and now we bookend it.
It is the
with
bookend.
Couch Pilots, Iman.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. No, I'm not that excited about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned
It's like it's the first pilot I've ever had to watch twice. Like, had to. Before I had seen
And it's long.
Kogarth of Barbaria. I don't know if you remember. There's a cartoon about a Barbaria. Like, I thought that was very fun and entertaining, so I chose to watch that several times. But this is the first one I've ever had to watch twice within a year. Oh, mercy!
My favorite thing about filming the Utopia reboot is I didn't have to watch any pilots at all, which was so pleasurable. 1, no pilots. 2, no talking to anybody. But number 3, the bad one, no Bobby socks. I couldn't get on Instagram. No social media. So I've spent on the plane back from Jamaica. I was just
all over those Robert socks,
all over the trannies and everything. It was great.
Oh boy!
You know how hard it is to jack off in an airplane bathroom?
I could guess.
It's pretty hard.
I have a story for you after the show. Yes, I think we use watching failed TV pilots as a vehicle for us to get together and hang out.
Sure, it is, and I was glad. I mean, that really heartbroke me that I couldn't do that.
Well, it was funny because next week we have a guest on the show, like an interview with someone who's involved with the pilot.
Yeah,
and I was texting with that person. I won't say who it is yet, but he said to me, "Are you guys comics?" And I said, "No, we're just a couple of aging comedy nerds who found a very niche podcasting genre as an excuse to hang out with our friends and occasionally talk to interesting folks like yourself." I think I just summed up the entire podcast.
Is it Mark Maron?
And his response,
it is Mark Maron.
His response was, "So losers?" ?
Yeah. He blocked me right after that. He said, "I'll unblock you when it's time to do the interview," and he did.
Yeah.
Today we discussed the pilot episode of Hymen from the year of our Lord 1986. Great year. Now this is 1986 was about 10, 15 years before your wife was born. Is that right?
I think you overshot it a little bit.
Nah, she's a little bit. Like 89, right?
2 years.
Wow.
She's 88.
Man.
Feeling great.
She doesn't look 88 at all.
Yeah. Well,
she looks great for 88.
Yep. I agree.
Rhyming.
Who looks great for 88?
Whoops.
My wife.
Awesome!
My wife.
Awesome!
Hold on a second. All right. Blake, what's the difference at an age between you and your stewardess Molly, your betrothed?
She is 3 months older than me.
What do you think about that? An older lady. She's got gray pubes, probably, right?
Oh, my ex-wife was 7 years older than me.
Really? Wow.
And then my new wife is 7 years younger. So there's a 14 age swing between my wives.
I don't know much. I didn't know you then, and I don't know much about that time.
Yeah, nobody did.
But I
didn't exist until the divorce.
Well, I do remember. I bring this up from time to time, but I remember seeing you exist
in college.
You were dating a girl that I grew up with in college. And then you, as far as I'm concerned, you disappeared off the face of the planet until about 7 years ago.
I sired a child with her.
Okay.
And then I disappeared.
Right.
And then I reappeared and at a table.
I have, and people might not like this, but I have a theory, okay? Mm-hmm. Like Hugh Jackman. You guys like Hugh Jackman?
Love Hugh Jackman.
Who's more of a man than Hugh Jackman?
Never heard of him.
All right, well, he plays Wolverine. Anyway,
he's the greatest showman.
He's a singer and he's a dancer.
That movie was stupid. I watched about 20 minutes of it.
Oh, man.
This is the stupidest movie I've ever seen.
You look at Hugh Jackman, you're like, that's a good-looking guy. He's Australian. All right?
Good day, mate.
Yeah. He's like, that's a good-looking guy. And then you take a look at his wife, and you're like, I don't know.
That's a good-looking dude.
And then you're like, that's a good-looking guy, too. But then you're like, she's like 10 years older than him.
I don't know his wife.
And then I look at a fella goes by the name Jimmy Fallon, right? A host of The Tonight Show. And then he's got a wife. That's like 10 years older than him. And in my head, I'm thinking, if you marry a lady roughly 10 years old, it could be 7 years.
Could be.
I think you're a gay guy.
Well, that's like Keanu Reeves. His girlfriend
died.
No, years ago. He's talking years ago.
His original girl.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the one he has now.
Oh yeah, he's lived a
and it's been quiet. Nobody knew. But then they like, they're seen in public together.
Yeah.
And this, she looks like the crypt keeper. She looks like she's 85 years old.
She's younger than him, not by much.
Oh,
she's
looks
younger than him.
Really?
I think she's just a girl who's like saying, "Fuck it, I got gray hair. I'm gonna rock it." I think she's a good looking older lady. She's probably in her early 50s, where he's probably in his mid 50s. Yeah. But what do you? I'm calling you gay. Essentially.
Is he getting his wick wet? Because it's John Wick.
I get it.
Never saw it.
Am I gay?
But do you
There's
subscribe
a dog
to that
in it,
at
right?
all? Do you subscribe where like
no, I wasn't gay for 10 years.
But like a guy who marries a lady that much older than him might be a gay fella?
The reason it happened for me was I thought she was my age. She just looked young.
How long into the relationship did you realize she was not your age? And that she was alive for the Carter administration?
Within, the first couple dates.
Yeah.
Because she questioned me going out with her. She's like...
Take a questionnaire.
She's like, dude, do you know how old I am?
She called you
sure?
dude?
Well, she may have.
Dude. It's like, I have an AARP card. You get a good discount when you're on the bus.
Because I was in my early 20s, and she's like, I'm like 30, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, whatever. Like, my best friends at the time were in their 30s. So I was used to running with an older crowd.
That's always been my theory, though, is like that guys who marry older ladies are gay guys. I never thought you do. We took a poll a while. You and I
had the kid first.
You and I said, we took a look at all our friends and said, who's the gayest? And I put Dustin at the bottom. I was like, Dustin does like the least homoerotic things out of all of us. And I'm towards the top.
I'm towards the top of Dave's list, though.
As far as bears?
It's something like that.
Well,
me and Jacob.
Well, be careful around Dave.
I saw Jacob there. He came over.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I thought he sent me a Merry Christmas, and I was happy to hear from him. How's he doing?
He's in love. He's living,
seems good.
Living with a girl, and in the past like a week and a half, I've realized that I don't ask enough questions to my friends.
Yeah, you don't.
Because
I'm not gay.
I am gay.
There was one conversation that I really should have asked, and I didn't for a friend. But then Jacob, I hadn't seen him in a while. He came over with his girlfriend, right? And we're talking, and I'm like, so moved to this house. He's like, yeah, my house caught fire and burned down. I was like, what?
Jacob's house burnt down? He had his own little shack in
it was a
like
big
Manitou,
shack.
right?
It was a big shack.
He never invited me.
Well, I never went inside, but yeah, he is. And I was like, dude, I'm a horrible friend. I'm sorry. He goes, no, that's fine.
Should we call him right now?
We can, but he might. Well, he works third shift, so he might be. He might be up.
If he was aging a bunch of alcohol at that time, that would not help.
Well, but supposedly he wasn't living there or something. But I don't know.
Well, I want him back on the show. Yeah. So that guy's an interesting.
That
dude.
day, he's like, "Are you guys recording tonight?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Well, then I don't want to come over. Never mind." And I was like, "No, we are." And then he showed up.
Tricked him.
And I tricked him.
Jason got in a car accident.
I've tricked
is gay now.
I've tricked a lot of guys myself.
That rings true. No, that's interesting about Jacob. I'd love to get a hold of him, but I will put you down as the exception that proves the rule, as not being a gay guy.
Like, thanks.
He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, it works.
Let's go back to the year of the pilot's release, 1986. Let's do that by going back there
In
our minds. And to do so, we'll talk about some things that happened back in 1986 so we can properly understand and judge and then regurgitate a score for this pilot based on the time that it was released. January 19th, the first PC virus, Brain, starts to spread. Brain affects the IBM PC by replacing the boot sector of a floppy disk with a copy of the virus. How much porn do you have to watch in order to receive a virus?
Well, back then, I don't think there was a lot of porn on
Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, not like now. Like
a big 8-bit nip.
This is what I'm 11 right now. Even when I was in my 20s with AOL, it would take like 45 minutes to download a naked picture of somebody.
But you waited. God damn, did you wait?
For science.
I've had viruses. Sometimes I'm on pornography sites. They'll say, "Hey, your phone's got 100 viruses on it. You're fucking whacking off to the wrong shit."
You just click out of that tab.
Yeah, and then,
that's all you do.
And then they'll try to make you call a number that's just gonna say we need $500 and some iTunes gift cards.
Yeah, we have people coming to the bank all the time with those kind of things. Not necessarily attached to porn,
but they're just scared that
they're scams. Yeah, and they're like, "Yeah, they told me I had fines." and they're going to arrest me unless I give them $300 in Target gift cards. And we're like, the police aren't going to accept Target gift cards.
I don't know. Maybe.
No.
Have you seen some of the great stuff at Target?
I mean,
during the stimulus
that
time.
$1 end cap when you walk in.
Oh, it's so appealing.
My heterosexual wife loves that area.
Heterosexual, damn it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have the temptation to buy stuff at the register, but Target gets you at the register and when you walk in.
Right.
Oh my God, they double dip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Double dip cream dream.
January 20th, the United Kingdom and France announced plans to construct the Channel Tunnel. The Channel Tunnel, or Channel,
yes,
is a 31.25-mile railway tunnel that connects Kent, England, with Hauts-de-France in France, beneath the English Channel at the Strait of Dover. At its lowest point, it is 380 feet below sea level and has the longest underwater section of any tunnel in the world.
Is it's still working?
Still there?
Aside from Rochelle, best Seinfeld movie ever. Channel.
Wow, look at you. Deep cut on some of the movies Jerry and Elaine went to see.
I figured you'd get it.
Yeah, I got it.
Do you have?
Wait, hold on. What's Rochelle? What's the? It's like erotic.
A young girl's erotic
Minsk.
journey from Milan to Minsk.
That's right.
Oh, that's worked its way into an earnest
Erotic.
episode. Do you have the most important event of 1986 that happened in January? I know
we
Blake.
are the Bears.
Yes.
Shuffling crew. Shuffling on down. Doing it for you.
We so bad, we know we're good. Blowing your mind like we know we would.
We need a hip hop track on here.
Oh, for freestyle?
We need
profiling?
freestyling and profile. We need to bring that back. That bit from my
Yeah, the Bears won, man.
Yeah.
The greatest football team of all time.
It's the 80. I thought it was the 85.
Well,
Bears.
they're the 85 Bears, but
But
the
it
Super
happened.
Bowl's in 86.
Yep.
I ever tell you guys
New
I have
England
the
Patriots.
I've got the 45 single of them rapping. Ever tell you that?
That was one of my first records.
That's the first record I ever bought. It was at Fogler's Variety in Beardstown.
Oh, not the one in Creve Coeur.
No, it was Beardstown.
A separate Folgers variety.
Yes.
Best part of waking up, isn't it?
Fogler's in your cup.
January 24th, the Voyager 2 space probe makes its first encounter with Uranus. Hilarious.
Hey, butts.
I just wanted to say Uranus. How old were you, Blake?
I was 11, man.
Yeah.
I was 11. I was already well into life.
And then, of course, Dustin and I are the same age because we're just
4.
a few weeks. I would say 5. 86.
Oh, yeah. Well, depends on when in the year.
But we don't do that.
Okay.
We've never done it. We've never done it
Because
that
we're
way.
October. We're towards the end of the year. So for most of the year,
We round up.
we were 4.
We've never
All right.
ever done it that
All
way.
right.
Why did we choose to watch Hymen? You know what? Let's throw in a fourth reason. You got them all.
So the 3 reasons are it's free. It was a pilot that was turned into a made-for-TV movie.
Sure.
And it has Scott Bakula in the shower.
You know what? I'll accept it. So where can you find the entire episode of Hymen's for your dumb self when you can do so by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, Dustin.
You know what to do, Tube.
He made it. His voice sounded like my voice struggling from a lack of oxygen. He seamlessly. He's a man of voices.
Ooh,
I used to be called The Voice. That's weird.
That's right.
Your sister doesn't know what to do, Tube.
No, she got all the looks, and I got all the brains. I got some of the brains.
I bet you she knows how to take care of a chicken who's got an egg stuck that won't come out.
I thought
What's
you were
that
going
called?
to
What's
say
the-
AIDS.
No, it's called something when
The Hymen Maneuver.
No, when a chicken gets an egg stuck. Yeah.
And then it starts singing a song.
Coming along, there's an egg that won't come out. It's in my pussy.
Oh my lord!
A whole lot of pain is what I've been given.
Come
and
on,
I'm
get-
pussy.
You guys remember that Partridge Family song "In My Pussy"? That was a good one.
I said pussy.
that was the first 45 I ever owned.
Yeah. And then their follow-up hit, I Think I Pussy You. So what am I so afraid of? Afraid of that big labia.
A labia I'm unsure of. Labia is a scary thing. When you're fiddling around there as a young man for the first time, labia is terrifying. There's so many like flaps and trap doors and booby traps.
I'm a labia guy though. I like that little hanging labia. I like a little roast beef. I'm a labium. I like a little roast beef hanging.
He's a little labia majorman. Summary of the pilot.
Is that a planet?
Yeah, it's right next to the space probe Uranus. When a man is exposed to an alien gas, he acquires the ability to heal instantly and survive any injury or toxin. Rate it.
I'm giving it a B+. I mean, it's short, but it really encompasses all. Mm-hmm. I mean, you figure I would have rather the pilot lasted as long as the summary
right.
as it did. So for anybody to write a summary on an hour and 30-minute pilot,
right. Yes.
and it be a good one, that's a good summary writer.
Do you agree with the B+, or do you have your own rating scale? What you don't have a rating scale on Dishing Disney, right?
I don't. No.
You guys just kind of wrap it up at the end.
Like, yeah, it's good. Yeah,
you should be like, I give this 3 Mickeys.
Right.
I give it interesting facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Interesting Facts. Many have tried, many have kind of half-assed this, but I'm going back to it. This is a segment where Jason has scoured the internet to find facts about this pilot that you may not know. You probably don't know. I'm sure you don't know because you're a dumb fucking idiot.
Jesus, man.
Don't taint someone else's experience. Don't talk about these facts. Listen to them, enjoy them, and message us about them.
What hard times are, Daddy?
There was passion in that.
There was passion.
A lot of times in the past few weeks, there's not been a lot of passion. It's just been kind of and these are the facts.
I know the past few weeks, people have been trying to be respectful of the things you have built and not trying to replicate that, but trying to give their own attempt, but not stamp on what or trample on what you've accomplished.
Oh, otherwise I'd be trampled by turtles.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is that exactly? I've heard that song.
That's a band. That's a band.
I thought it was a band.
Oh,
Trampled by Turtles.
Yes, it is.
Is it a roots country band?
Yeah, I guess.
Jammy.
It's a jammy blue.
Jam!
Not today.
Jam today, no jam tomorrow.
Yeah, always jam tomorrow.
Jam yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Never jam today.
Interesting facts. Hymen is a made-for-television movie originally broadcast as an episode of the Disney Sunday Movie on April 6th, 1986. It was the pilot for a proposed series, which, of course, was never picked up. Fact.
Accurate.
Stars Scott Bakula as Jeffrey Wilder in his television debut. Fact.
Oh, this was Bakula's debut?
Really?
Quick pause on that. How do you give a guy who's a television debut? How do you give him a fucking 90-minute movie as the star? He must have been just oozing star power.
He was oozing sex appeal, is what it was.
Yeah, that was the one thing about the summary that I didn't like. It should have said Scott Bakula stars in
crazy sex pot.
Oh, well, no, I was meaning like...
Well, they didn't put him in there because this was his first TV... Had he done anything before this then? He hadn't done movies.
I don't know.
Can you edit them after the fact?
When did Quantum Leap come out?
That was a couple years later.
Perfectly tanned.
And I own all of them on DVD.
Hairless.
Oh, no, he has hair.
Sexy. He owns all of Quantum Leap, but he only owns season 4 of the L Word.
This is true.
Back to interesting facts.
Red Hot Scissoring.
You don't have to bleep it on this show.
I don't.
Also stars Ellen Bry as Karen McOrder. You may know her from Saint Elsewhere or Street Elsewhere. It depends on how you do that.
That's the show that was like in the Autistic Kid Snow Globe, right?
At the end, he was just shaking it up, killing everyone inside.
Yep. Way to go, kid.
A deep impact in Mission Impossible 3 fact.
Okay.
Among the many jobs that Jeffrey Wilder has had, they include working at a library, bookstore manager, hairdresser, truck driver, elevator repairman, and taxi driver. Fact.
I don't remember hairdresser.
You talking to me?
Hey. Everyone's talking to me.
I'm gonna kill. I'm gonna have sex with a Jodie Foster that's 13.
Hell yeah. Who?
Isn't that what happened in the movie?
Oh, and Taxi Driver?
She played a working girl.
Oh, she played
at 13.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. It's seriously.
It has been a while.
Years. It's been a while.
You know what? Let's do that.
Let's all say it's been a while.
No. Okay, let's do two things. First of all, let's all say it's been a while. 1, 2, 3.
It's been a while.
Second of all, we should have a taxi driver showing at your house, a party, where we all watch Taxi Driver.
And then we all play Crazy Taxi on PlayStation.
And just listen to the whole Offspring soundtrack.
Yes, I am in.
That was the star of that game.
I loved that game.
The punk soundtrack.
I would go to Target and play like the demo play copy of it every week.
Yeah. Oh, Dreamcast.
And then I would buy gift cards to pay phone scammers afterwards.
Hey, who wouldn't? He says he's a hairdresser, Blake. At one point, he says, I wasn't very good at it, I believe, is the line.
I missed that one.
The opening title sequence features actual NASA stock footage. What does NASA stand for, Blake? NASA.
Yeah, the National...
Right. Endowment of the Arts?
No, the National Anal Sphincter Association.
You know what? I'm going to put my foot down. I know it's your first episode back, but that cannot possibly... They're talking about outer space. That can't possibly be what it
Google
stands
that
for.
shit.
Okay, you're right. Final fact, Brian Anderson, who played newscaster, was also an ESPN correspondent in Slam Dunk Ernest. Fact.
Say what?
End of interesting facts.
That was good. That was good.
Last fact is related to the show because I think it's pretty well known that Dustin and I do a Ernest P. Worrell podcast, so that fact tied in.
That was good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Were
Were you surprised, or did you know that?
I did not know that.
So it didn't come up the first time when you guys watched Audition?
No.
You must not do a lot of scouring.
I did not. I did not look into those people. I was too hung up on the kid from Flight of the Navigator and his arrest record.
I thought it was
Kramer?
Joey Kramer, not to be confused with Joey Kramer, the drummer for Aerosmith.
Oh, I thought it was
I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
thought it was the guy from E.T.
That's Henry
the kid?
Thomas.
They
I
look a
used
lot
to
alike.
get them confused as a kid as well.
Joey Kramer, he went on to do Mad Money on News Network.
Never saw it.
It's not worth seeing.
I always thought this Joey Kramer kid was like the poor man's
Henry Thomas
Henry Thomas, much like Skeet Ulrich and
is the
Johnny
poor
Depp.
man Jenny Depp. Okay.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's.
Johnny's Depp. Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. I wonder if Jason got some Twitter responses.
That's not a drop, folks. That's the real thing back in the seat.
Oh,
we should put it as a drop so I don't have to do it.
No,
anymore.
you know what, man? I used to say combine some of these things to help me out so I don't have to press them at the same time, and you said no. So why are we going to do that for you? People want it fresh. They want it right out the tap.
Right off Utopia.
Yeah. They want the star of Utopia singing that to them.
A lot of cool things happened on YouTube.
Is this going to be like a thing where every week you give us a little bit more information about your
Maybe.
time on YouTube?
Maybe.
I hope so.
Oh, do I get to come back? I want to hear these deets.
You can sit in the corner while he does it.
Or we could just listen to the podcast at home.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
Give us some goddamn
Fair
downloads.
point.
I mean, you can come over if you want, but it's not.
I got to hear these bits early.
Let's put 10 minutes on the clock, and we'll talk about the.
Son of a bitch. You didn't do that at all.
How
I think you just saw me press my phone.
how deep are we gonna dive?
Like Hymen Maneuver deep, my friend.
Hey, just as long as we keep it light.
Oh, just keep it light. Funny joke from the program. Okay, Dustin, you want to start us off?
So there's some stock footage of NASA. Isn't there like a missing? Was it a probe of some sorts?
Yep. I think
7 years.
7 years. Yeah.
They got the 7-year itch on that probe.
I heard the probe was gay.
Well, and I think there's a couple times where they're showing the stock footage and they replay some of where they're dealing with this thing, like satellite or whatever, and you can see the Earth in the background. It seems to go, and then it's so prolonged that it goes back to that same shot, and then they show the NASA space shuttle, not blown up,
Not the Challenger.
Yeah, not that one. Come down and land, and there's a lot of Houston, we're good for go,
Scott Dracula plays Jeff Wilder. He's a taxi driver in Houston, Texas. And he says, I'm done working for the day. I'm going to go home. And then he's like, there's a beautiful lady who needs a ride.
He loves the beautiful ladies.
He is a reoccurring theme. You know what I love is sexism. There's a lot of that in this show.
And hometown pride.
Yeah. Though, what's the 1-2 knockout for me? But he sees a pretty lady. He's like, you know what? I'm off the clock, but I'm going to go pick up that lady. And then an old man jumps in and says, I need to go to the airport. And so he's like, foiled again.
And then he's rounding the corner, and she's walking across, and he stares her down.
Yeah,
and
licks his lips.
Part of me thought she had Bobby socks on, but the outfit didn't go with it.
If anyone would notice, it would be Blake.
I think that I do also find out later on. I do know another
interesting fact.
I noticed a thing about this pilot that you guys may not have known, but I really thought she had Bobby socks on. I almost rewound it, but then I knew that it was an hour and 30 minutes.
Right.
Like, I don't have time to worry about this.
No. He's basically after the whole taxi thing, isn't he? On his way to his kid's football game.
Yes. Yeah.
No,
he had
before that he goes and gets Nolan.
Oh yes, the
He's
dog
randomly
named
picked up
after
Nolan Ryan
because Houston Astros.
Yeah,
he loves to make out with his dog.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a dog named Velma? He's got a big skin flap on the belly. Beautiful animal.
Named after the Scooby-Doo lesbian.
Yes. Yeah. The Scooby-Doo lesbian Velma was 7 years older than the rest of the crew. I don't know if you guys knew that. Do you ever make out with your dog?
No, she's not a licker or a kisser.
Jinkies.
No, she's not. She will nudge you and like with her snout, but she won't. You very rarely would she give you a kiss.
You're good with that, aren't you, Jason?
Snouting?
No, I mean like her not making out with Blake in your presence.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I never like the making out with dogs or any kind of animal. But he picks up the dog and then he goes to his son Eric's football game.
Yeah.
Ooh Eric. Ooh Eric.
And Eric is the kid from Flight of the Navigator, another Disney
not
program.
E.T.
Correct.
No, not E.T.
Compliance.
After the game, Jeff and Eric.
Before the end of
the game, something happens.
Eric is rolling down the like Barry fucking Sanders, and at the goal line gets fucking nailed. I wrote Eric football game laid out! Exclamation point.
The time must have been up because he clearly had a first down at that point. But
it was the end of the game. Yeah,
he was running down the field and he was blasting dudes off of him, like probably 4 or 5 guys.
He's
and then
blasting dudes off.
Oh yeah, under the McCluggage Bridge, $10 a man.
Under the bridge.
That kid's wallet was full of Hamiltons, man. But then at the end, there was a guy just standing in the end zone. He was already there waiting for him, and then kicks his ass. So they lose the game.
Yeah.
And then after the game, Jeff is walking with his boys like, hey, you did a great job. And they look over to the side, and they're that NASA.
Oh, no, it's a van.
It's a NASA van full of a big metal canister of that space gas.
Yes, we find out very early that this is very important canister, but as they're putting it in the van, they're just trucking down the hall. They're not taking care of this.
You know what's funny about that scene where they're going down the hall? It's the camera shot is like the point of view of the canister, and you see the people like rushing it down. It reminded me of that terrifying scene from Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
yes,
where they're moving
the
crazy John Wayne Gacy clowns are moving the bike in his nightmare. Oh, it took me back and terrified
pulls the
me.
mask down.
Yes.
And he's got his mouth all painted
Holy
up.
Christ Almighty, that terrified. But
Yeah,
did that remind you of that?
No, I knew that's exactly where you were going.
Oh man, alive. So but there's a horrific car crash. They never really get into like this crazy Mustang or whoever it was, this Charger that caused the accident. But the van like rolls, and Jeff goes to help the people inside.
Yeah, he's a stand-up guy, and he's like, oh, somebody's in danger. Better throw on my Astros jacket.
That's a pretty rad jacket.
It's the best.
He goes over there and he tries to get the people out. He gets one guy out, and he goes back there, and because the guy's like.
I think it's the only guy in the vehicle. I think.
Canister,
Rosebud,
very important. And he goes to try to get it out. It blows up
with him there.
And Eric goes,
"No, oh no, Dad."
Yeah, it's an
underwhelming
response to a
which happens throughout this pilot. One of the things I wrote earlier was. During all this stuff, everybody's very nonchalant. Like, okay, I'm just, that's cool.
If my dad exploded in front of me, I feel I would be emotionally numb, but I would verbalize it a little bit more than oh no.
And the only time that he verbalizes his real true emotions for his dad is at the end, where as soon as he gets all pissed off and is upset about his dad, 3 seconds later, his dad's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
He gets what is it, 3rd-degree burns?
Over 60% of his hot body.
Luckily, not on the taint.
Oh, taint! Yeah, the taint was perfectly intact.
Yeah, you don't want to burn that
intact taint.
So he's at the hospital.
Hashtag
intact taint. we see the first of I don't know, probably 4 or 5 images of Scott Bakula instantly healing from his wounds. Because what's funny is he comes in the hospital and his face is all charred up.
He looks like the guy from Nightmare on Elm Street.
He does look like that. His name is Frederick
Edward
Krueger.
Scissorhands.
His name is Edward Scissorhands. When I went on IMDb to look up I-Man, this is the picture they used on the front. Is the picture of Scott Bakula's charred face, which is not a good representation of the film at all.
No, and it's maybe 3 seconds at the most like that.
Oh boy.
So
he instantly heals from his wounds, which makes me wonder, why did he heal right there rather than the car ride over? That's not.
Well, there's a time delay because he's in Texas and the healing operates on Eastern.
Is that right?
I think so.
Oh wow, you figured it out then.
Yep.
So he's completely healed. He feels fine. He gets up and he leaves the hospital. And he goes home with his boy, and he's like, I'm going to go to Lenny's. We need to get some food. But he leaves the boy home. The scene is so quick. He walks in. He sees Lenny being robbed. Jeff is promptly shot. Instantly shot.
Quick.
And then the robber is arrested by a couple of guys that Jeff ran into on his way out of his house. And these are guys that are from, I can't remember, it's like the ISA, something security agents. It's
International Sex Association.
Anal... what was it? NASA.
National Anal
Sex.
Anal
Slippery anuses.
Yep. And I confirmed, I did my research after you said that, and it is correct.
Yeah.
So he's
just
like,
Google it then.
So he's like, hey, you come with us. Your healing instantly is nuts. So they take him there, and he's being examined and tested upon, and then he appears to have infinite stamina, is constantly regenerating, and doesn't need to sleep.
He's like Wolverine.
Right, he's
like that
taller and less hairy.
He's indestructible.
The very, very gay Hugh Jackman.
And he's like, no, that's not possible. And the doctor's like, hey, you remember your appendix? He was like, yeah, I had it taken out when I was 12.
That's what you thought.
Yeah, you got a new appendix, buddy. And he has some short shorts. He has like NBA 1970 Ep08. Yeah,
you were always in jeopardy of having a nut poke out of one of the.
You lost on Jeopardy.
Yeah. So the guys they're like, hey, you need to stay here. We need to do more tests. You're like, you can get into the wrong hands.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to do this. And
I know I mentioned this when I did the show with you, Dustin, but there's a portion of this where he's learning all this information about him.
A lot of exposition.
And he's like, so I'm never going to die? But he sounds like upset. This has always stuck out to me. Like he sounds like defeated that he'll never die.
Well,
could you imagine if somebody told me I would never die? I would be so fucking upset. I would be so fucking upset.
You need to have something to look forward to, which is the sweet surrender into
right.
Yeah,
I long for it every day.
Yeah. I would just, if I were you,
I jerk guys off under a bridge for Christ's sake. I obviously want to die
until the weather turns.
Yeah, he's got standing.
I don't want to die of frostbite.
His extension cords for his space heaters don't stretch that far.
If you're constantly regenerating, would that mean like all your cavities would repair and like whatever shit they shove in your teeth after that would just pop out?
What I'm more concerned about is as a guy, you empty out your supply.
That's what I was just...
And it just immediately replenishes. It's already bad enough. I have more of this than I need.
You have a constant case of blue balls every... Yeah.
I produce a thimble. It's not very much. I would welcome the change.
Like a metallic thimble comes out.
I use a rubber one,
That's
but yes.
worse.
How do you think Monopoly gets all those thimbles for their games?
I thought kidney stones sounded painful.
The good people at Parker Brothers come to me and they collect my jism for their thimbles.
Have you ever seen his house? Have you ever seen his mansion that he lives in? Yeah. He has a full-size bed, for Christ's sake.
And I have a bunch of hotels too.
My grandpa used to shit out the little dogs. That's the weirdest thing.
Your uncle shit out the dogs. I come the thimbles for the good people at Parker Brothers. Come thimbles.
Okay, hashtag come. Come.
Hey, it's gonna trend.
Thimbles.
It's gonna trend.
If I spell it right, it will.
It's gonna change Peter Pan for a lot of people.
I don't know if it's NASA, but I think it's the ISA. So that we want to employ you, and it's like I don't want to do it. I want to drive a taxi cab.
The next scene is there's a train, and it goes. It's somewhere in Colorado, and it's a military train. And here it is, guys. Does anybody know the name of that train?
It is the Orient Express.
Quad City DJs. I don't know
that. The Silver Bullet.
I'll give you each one more guess.
I'm gonna guess the Quad City DJs again.
No.
Higher than the Quad Cities. I'm going to say the Twin Cities.
The Quint City.
Folks, watch this pilot, all 1 hour and 31 minutes of it, because the name of that train on the front of that train.
Is it the old Highball Express from Amazing Stories?
Its name is Molly.
Oh.
You know what? I do remember that. You're right.
I saw it, and then I was like, that can't be it. And then I saw it again.
And then you saw Molly,
Full of
the
ecstasy.
big steel train, go into a dark tunnel, right?
And you were like, yep.
Been there.
Yep.
toot, toot. So it's,
And you know what? It disappeared. Spoiler alert.
It was
That
carrying
train
a bunch of
disappeared.
government laser style beam stuff, and then
They're helium tanks.
It disappears, and then the next scene, Jeff is asking. He's in his taxi. And he asks out a coworker, and she agrees, even though she's been stood up by him twice before. And then she's like, "All right, I'm going to go in here and I'll come out and we'll go on a date." But in that interim, Jeff is whisked away by like Mr. Bellagio.
Yeah, he ain't got time for that.
And Susan, when she's in her cab, has like a denim hat on, and she doesn't look. But then when she comes out to go on their date, she smoked the
She just
fuck
had
up.
that available and did like a quick change thing.
Yeah,
Is she a magician's
Is there-
assistant?
She had a cowboy boots.
Yeah.
Her hair was all done
Yeah.
up. She had a cowboy.
She was ready to get it.
Bobby socks.
I
Probably-
have
probably not on-
I have
probably
never
not on-
seen a lady taxi driver look like that. They all look like people you'd find under the McCluggage Bridge.
Yeah.
Giving hand jobs for cash.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I guess that does make sense.
You know what, guys?
What?
Hey, man's got to earn a living.
Yeah, a man's got to eat.
I haven't got my stimulus check yet, so I got to do what I got to
So
do.
you're
That's
stimulating
like
others until you get yours?
By the way,
6,000 hand jobs.
Have either one of you gotten your hand?
I have.
You
My
have.
hand job.
Your last name is
Blake was-
W. I think they went
Blake
backwards.
was born to hand job.
So, hey, so have you got yours yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going backwards the alphabet, right?
I don't know.
About time I'm first at something.
You did get yours?
Oh, yeah.
I got mine too.
Don't tell my wife that. She
I
is
bought
very
I bought a
mad.
pinball machine.
Way to help the economy.
I put it on my mortgage's principal.
Wah, wah.
I bought a lot of records with the first one.
Hashtag adult life.
Yeah.
Now, this is what happens. I take my stimulus check and I give half of it to my my daughter's mother, and then I have my daughter got a yeah, I know, right?
Shane ain't getting shit from me.
Well, your kid's like 18, 19
She is.
now.
That's a good rap song.
Yeah.
Shane ain't get shit from me. I get my stimulus check and I spend it on me. Molly is very concerned that we're not going to get ours.
You're not going to get it at all. I'm going to get it. So at the ISA, Jeff is shown secret laser beam weapons that were stolen by the government by this eccentric billionaire named Mr. Holbrook.
Yeah.
And Mr. Holbrook, he says, I want $10 billion or I'm going to set off a bomb in California. If I
Why
don't
does
get
he
my
need money? If he is so rich and so eccentric, why does he need more money?
Yeah.
He's flexing, baby.
Power.
It's a hot flex. So Jeff agrees to help despite having no training whatsoever.
He doesn't agree. He's just kind of forced into it by
Mr. Bellagio.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, you
And
can't
Karen.
die. We're going to just throw you into some situations.
You know what? What about
See what happens.
I don't have any training.
That's fine.
He goes, I'm sorry we don't have time to train you, but Karen's here and she can help you out.
Right.
I'm like,
And she's like, I used to be a school teacher. It's like, oh, fucking shit. I'm still
But in Detroit.
yeah.
Yeah, where it's a constant war zone, apparently, in Detroit. So he agrees to go, and his son Eric is like, hey, I don't want you to go. It's dangerous, and my mom is dead, and I don't want to lose both parents because then I'll be a fucking foster child.
Right.
Yeah, this is when it turns into a very special blossom.
And this was like the Disney moment. Like this was the
Oh,
Disney,
yeah, because there's a dead parent involved.
right. There's a dead parent involved.
Are you saying Monty Python Dead Parrot?
Yes,
that what you're
dead
saying?
parrot.
That's a good. I actually know that reference.
And you know how I find that shit.
Ha chewy.
Feels good.
Baba booey. Jeff's got, I don't say Jeffrey. They call him Jeffrey. I don't like that name.
Jeffrey.
But he's like, well, I got to go. The babysitter, some old lady, is going to be here a little bit. In a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm going. Kid's making some cereal. Cuts his hand on a bowl.
Yeah.
Cuts his hand, and then Jeff comes back like, "Hey, are you all right?" And the kid doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
And Jeff still leisurely walks back into the apartment.
This is one of the few scenes I remembered from when I was a kid, is when Joey Kramer cuts his hand, and then it heals.
Can I guess why?
Why?
Because it gave you, as a boy, the thought, maybe as a child, I could be invincible.
Yeah, and then I became a cutter, and now I just have scars.
You guys, I dated a cutter once. You guys ever date a cutter?
Yes.
She had cut herself on her thighs. She's a sexy lady too, and she went out of her way to fuck herself up. I was like, yeah, you don't have to do this at all. You're a beautiful lady.
Yeah.
No. I've never been a cutter. I've been a cut up.
Oh,
Wee, boy.
It's, you know what?
I drank a Coors cutter.
Self-harm can be funny if you allow it to be.
Okay, so
You guys
anyway,
are fucking stuck up.
Eric finds out that he was close to this van. He got the gas too.
Yeah, he's like, don't tell
He's
anybody.
like, I want to beat my fucking bully's ass, and his dad's like, no.
He wants to Shazam it.
Yeah, Shazam, featuring Shaquille O'Neal and Sinbad.
Both of them.
It's only two black
In the
guys.
wrong movie.
It's only two black guys I know.
Things have gone from sin bad to sin worse. So Jeff goes to like this small airport and he meets Murphy, some lumberjack-looking son of a bitch.
Who is very fertile.
He's very fertile. Yeah. What does that mean?
He's got like, he talks about having like 8 kids.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he's like, I don't need this shit. I've got a wife and 8 kids, and I was like, damn.
It sounds like he's been inhaling some alien
To
gas
be honest with
so he
you,
can regenerate his
this
jism.
guy has more emotion for the moment in this movie than anybody else does. Like, he's more like, there's emotion, there's, we're going to have this mission. I don't want this shit fucked up.
Yeah.
And Scott's still like, hey,
He's got passion.
pouring some coffee. Like,
Yeah, my favorite part.
I know it's your favorite part.
Yeah, it's my favorite part.
Where Scott Bakula likes a lot of cream in his coffee because he likes it light.
He likes it light.
he loves that cream.
Murphy is...
And that's called back like 5 times.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that became a household
Maybe
saying.
5 times too many.
With Holbrook at the end in the Chinese restaurant. There's a couple more.
It happens.
Did Brianna take your last name?
She did.
Nice.
You own her.
Yeah. You know what? You own her now. Murphy, he's in this scene for a few minutes, and then he's at the end for a few minutes. But Murphy's a guy who's like, if this went to series, Murphy's on the team.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
You're going to see Murphy every episode.
He's the
pouring coffee.
Murdoch of this A-team.
Yeah. I was going to say Phil from the Phoenix Foundation, MacGyver-wise, but... let's see here. Karen, who works for the ISA, arrives and she lays out the plan. And then Eric goes from hiding in the car to hiding in the small aircraft. And
as pilots, we know
Horrible
that there was
idea.
too much weight.
Yes.
It would have never gotten up.
And we discussed this.
Yes, that small of a plane, you have to know the exact weight.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
that's why Murphy wasn't in there.
We called bullshit on this on Dishing Disney immediately.
So they're in the plane, and there's like immediately kind of some sexual tension between the two as they get to know each other.
There's actually a lot of sexual tension to come.
I feel like it starts here, but then Murphy's not in the plane. It's just it's Karen and Jeff, and then Eric
And the
hiding
kid.
the biting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's back
A
in
lot
the,
of sexual
He's
tension
back
with
in the
that
taint
kid.
the taint of
He's
the
back there
plane.
masturbating furiously,
kids
pretending
jerk
he's
off.
under the McCluggage Bridge with a grown man
With
5
a man who's
times his years.
with a man who's got frostbite on his
So
hands.
they're flirting with each other, and all of a sudden, they're like, "Hey, it's nighttime. We got to sneak in here. We got to cut the engine."
Yeah.
She turns off a little itty bitty red light, and all of a sudden, Scott Bakula cannot. He can't breathe.
Yeah.
He's sweating.
Has this ever happened to you guys when you've been mid-flight?
No.
No, because I always leave the light on. I always leave the light on.
Oh, like Red Roof Inn?
Yeah.
No, Motel 6.
Hey, Red Roof Inn. Red Roof Inn, the birthplace of my son. That's where he was consummated. At the Red Roof Inn.
Consomme, like a beef soup?
Consomme,
in Peoria. In Peoria, Illinois.
Your kid is 50%.
bees.
That's probably why he doesn't talk to me anymore.
Oh, boy. Let's go back to self-harm.
Side effects. Side effects. No light.
But yeah, every good superhero, which is essentially what Scott Dracula has
He
become.
is
the
an
superhero.
eye man.
Every good superhero has a weakness, and his happens to be, I can't be in the dark. I'm scared of it.
What's yours? What's your superhero weakness?
Commitment. I'm not going to ask you guys. You're not going to do better than that. Neither of you can do better than that. So it seems like they flew a tiny plane all the way from Houston to San Francisco is what it seems like, which is quite a ways for a small plane like that. Back
Is
at
that
the
Cessna?
a little Cessna.
Yeah.
Back at the ISA, they find out that Jeff needs light in order to stay healthy and active.
Yeah, it's like a plant-based
yes,
man.
There's a lot of what's that called?
He-Man.
Photosynthesis.
That's
right.
Synthesis.
What's that scene in Billy Madison?
More like borophyll.
That's right.
No, I will not make out with you. I'm trying to listen to Chlorophyll Man over here.
Leave me alone, loser.
Yeah.
So there's a really weird score here as they've landed.
Is this the harmonica part?
Yes, this is the part where Karen and Jeff still don't know Eric's in the back. They start to scale this mountainside, and it's clear that it's someone breathing unskillfully in and out of a harmonica.
It's not good.
It's a weird score, isn't it?
I can't remember the name of the guy who composed the score.
Nor should you remember.
But
that.
I feel it was like, all right, I'm going to come up with like 5 minutes, and they're just going to stretch this out for an hour and a half.
Mercy. Jeff saves Karen from falling off a cliff and also being bitten by a snake. And he takes this opportunity to ask her out on a date. And she's like, "Yeah, I would, but we should focus on what we're doing."
Yeah, they want to go for Chinese food or something.
And then they're promptly captured by the henchmen that are all dressed the same. And I'll say what I said on Dishing Disney is they all look like Robert Goulet.
Mustaches galore. Mustache rides for everyone.
Goulet. They reminded me of the
Who let the dogs out? Who
The-
let those little mutts go?
the dad on Webster.
Oh, George Papadopoulos, Alex Karras.
Remind me of a lot of age versions of him.
I agree.
Okay.
They're all wearing like a red turtleneck and a black blazer, mustaches, glasses, hair slicked back. Anyway, Eric gets out of the plane finally. He starts to follow his dad. And then Jeff and Karen are taken to the billionaire's large castle estate. And the guy's name is Holbrook, and he loves like war and war tactics. So to get in his good graces, Karen compliments him and wins his favor by comparing him to like Hannibal or something.
Yeah, the elephant guy.
And then she says, "You know what? Yeah, that's right." She said, "I'm going to go ahead and shoot Jeff with a laser." And basically what she does there is she shows him that there's something extraordinary about Jeff, and they shouldn't try to kill them because they could be useful.
Yeah,
to him.
he likes it light.
He likes it light.
But again, everybody is super nonchalant. Like if a bitch had a laser pointed at me, even though I knew that I'm like, I would be like pissed off, and he was just kind of like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Later, he even says, "You know what? You do all this stuff, but it still hurts what you're doing." I mean,
everybody hurts.
Yeah, sometimes. Holbrook then he shows them around and gives them scrambled eggs.
And eggs Benedict Arnold.
That's right. Eric sneaks closer to the estate until he falls from a tree through a skylight roof into the mansion.
Because a raccoon pushed him.
A
raccoon pushed him.
Well, he hides, and the henchmen assume it was the raccoon who also fell through. And all the henchmen,
Rookie raccoon.
they're all carrying laser beam guns with them, aren't they now?
And going to bloom bloom
Boomby boomby zip zap zoom.
Then we go back to where they're having breakfast. Cut back to
where's the hot to trot daughter? That's what I'm waiting for.
Allison?
Oh, Allison's coming up, Dustin.
Allison is right here, and she's not wearing a bra, and she's wearing her nightgown.
We know somebody's getting a bump.
And I'll tell you what, like if David Bowie was a woman,
he's married to Iman.
She's married to Scott Bakula.
You know what I'm saying though? Like if
I think we're getting Allison whole bump. Am I right, guys?
hey. But she's all up. And at first, I thought it was Holbrook's wife. That's what I thought at first.
Oh yeah,
but we
yeah.
come to
She
find
just
out
wants some cuckold action.
It's the daughter. It's
Sexy young girl who apparently is kind of like held up at
Rapunzel.
this compound.
Yeah,
right. Very much like without. She's like she's probably blown every one of those.
No, she
henchmen.
doesn't like mustaches.
Oh,
she's very anti-facial hair, so that's why
Except
she's
under the
all
bridge.
over Bakula. Yeah.
Under the bridge, everyone looks the same.
right.
Eric
It's dark enough.
Eric sneaks through the house and he.
That's why my shift doesn't start till 6:30 in the wintertime.
Is that right?
In the wintertime.
Eric sneaks throughout the estate and he finds a flashlight that has like a whiteout effect on all the security cameras, so he can navigate himself through the estate. And there is a guy monitoring the security cameras. I love this guy. He's a big fucking fat guy.
Just eating the whole time.
But he's sitting there eating a plate of very like fanciful and decorative finger desserts. Like they're just like they're one bite desserts, and they all have like this.
That's called an amuse-bouche.
Is that right?
Where you have something in one bite. Yeah,
and
I learned that from Top Chef.
I had a girlfriend like that.
Amuse-bouche.
Yeah. That's as big as her bush was.
She wouldn't shave it. She wouldn't shave her.
Oh, no, she shaved it just enough.
Okay,
you got
just
a
a moosh.
Oh, just
you got a mouthful.
Just a moosh
one bite.
Moosh.
But like this huge fucking fat guy, like the only time we ever see him is looking at these things and eating, looking at the monitors and eating just these little. It's just perfect little plate. I was like, it's such a ridiculous.
He should have had like a big hoagie, right? He should have had like a big hoagie and a beer. And he's watching these.
I like finger foods.
He's watching these really old like TV monitors, and like of course, if he's doing that, he should have some knowledge about surveillance.
Yeah.
But the light, Eric shines the light up, and so you can't see. And he goes to right off the bat. Starts banging the side of them.
Yep.
And then one time he takes his big flashlight nightstick and threatens one of the monitors by acting like he's going to hit it with it. And I was just like, yeah.
That doesn't work.
No. And this guy, there's seven monitors have this happen before he goes, I better call somebody.
He's the Paul Blart of Holbrook's estate.
Oh, good reference. Eric comes to an office or like a study area that has some sort of desktop control panel there. He starts futzing around with to see what it does. Meanwhile, Holbrook's men load up this laser bomb or whatever they stole from that train into a semi-truck, and then Allison comes into Jeff's room in a bathing suit.
Yeah. And she's like, you want to go swimming? And he's like,
in my pussy.
This is the time of the show.
Guess what?
That
Surf's up, Bacula.
This is the
you
time.
You like it light?
You want to ride the labia?
It's the part of the program where I had paused the film for like 5 minutes. Doesn't matter why.
This is the tracking worn on that VHS tape.
Really stretched out that tape. But she comes in and she's hot to try. So Karen comes in and sees them like canoodling with each other, and she knocks out Allison. Thank you.
Yeah,
she knocks out Allison.
Cold cocks the bitch, big
and
time.
Then they throw her in the closet. Yeah. If I was Jeffrey, I'd be like, I'm gonna be in the closet for a second, make sure she's knocked out.
7 minutes in heaven, or rape.
Yeah. As
6
it was
of one,
also
half a
known.
dozen of another, right?
Yeah.
So let's see here. Yeah, they're like, we need to stash this broad, and we need to get out of here so we can stop the bomb. And they're stopped in the hallway, which makes way to another healing special effect after Jeff gets blasted in the nose. So we see a bunch of special effects. It's basically just him being still, and then slowly they remove the like prosthetic makeup. Right.
So sidebar. Hit pause on the timer.
I'll take a scotch and rocks.
Sidebar. Okay.
If
That's an
Hymen
aggressive sidebar.
If Hymen ejaculates into a woman, does she obtain the powers by osmosis?
Okay. So Scott Dracula.
If he hooks up with Holbrook's daughter, and she's like, "It's okay, I'm on birth control," and he's like, "That's fine."
He blasts in her.
Yeah. Would she develop these powers?
The sperm would be
by
definitely
proxy.
The sperm would definitely be more powerful than the birth control.
It's dark in the womb.
So you'd be
Ooh, good. Ooh, he set us up for that. He knew he was gonna wing it that.
But that might be for the baby. For the actual person, you might be Hymen by proxy, though, right?
That's the sequel.
I think you gain the power. I think every lady that Scott Bakula fucks this going forward and unloads into, they gain the power of a man.
As long as they like it light.
That's right. So Karen and Jeff escape into an elevator, but the Goulets are in hot pursuit. Jeff knocks out the power in the elevator, but this knocks out the light too, and the darkness affects him.
Oh, he passes out real quick, gets hot and sweaty.
It does not glow.
Does not glow.
Eric sees them on a monitor, and he helps them remotely with his desktop control panel, and then they make their way to the top.
Which is an old 8-track player.
It was awesome, wasn't that? A big clunky piece of shit. So he helps them, and so they start to escape, and then Eric, Karen, and Jeff make their way to the top of a tower. Then they rappel down after seeing a helicopter in a distance, and they're like, we're going to get to this helicopter and get out of here.
Yeah, and this is where all the goons that are, all of...
the Goulet gang.
The Goulet gang, they all become stormtroopers with laser guns. Just shooting and never getting even close.
Yeah.
So this is the scene where that right after they get off the tower, Jeff is shocked by a fence,
Yeah, that was fun.
And his son like saves him by using his football tackling skills to take him off the fence. And then they all
Tackling fuel.
Tackling.
But here's the thing.
Water.
So
H2O.
Eric tackles his dad to save him from being on this electrocuted
Doesn't
thing.
he complete the circuit for a brief minute?
But then he goes, Jeff goes, touchdown. I'm like, no. Eric, you stopped him.
Home run.
Base on balls. Way to go, son.
You got a turkey. Congratulations.
You got a good eye.
Hole in one, son. They get into the chopper, and then they're like, we got to chase down that semi that has the bomb in it. So they see the semi, and then Jeff rope ladders down in an attempt to stop the vehicle, but Holbrook shoots the rope ladder off of the helicopter, and he falls down to the road.
This was some decent stunt work.
It really is.
For a pilot.
Yeah.
It's a ton of, like, that's clearly not Scott Bakula.
Oh, for sure.
But someone's doing some hard work here.
Yeah.
And when Karen's sliding down the castle, that's a dude with a wig on, too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hot dude. So then Jeff decides, you know what, I have a skill of stamina, and I'm going to use that skill to take a shortcut through these woods and cut off the semi-truck a few miles down the road who has to go, for whatever reason, around a big, huge loop.
Because he can run, 20 miles an hour or something?
I don't
we
know.
found out
But
earlier.
he doesn't have to regulate.
Yeah, take your time.
It was a long movie.
It's your first show back. It's all right.
He doesn't have to regulate his breathing or anything.
Yeah.
Like a normal runner, he doesn't have to pace
Full
himself.
speed. Full speed the whole time.
Yeah, mount up. You know what? I can go full speed through a thick forest.
He doesn't know what's in that forest. It could be,
Deciduous or coniferous?
Coniferous,
could
always
be-
coniferous.
it could be full coniferous.
Deciduous up. Get me a beer.
He jumps over waterfalls.
Oh, yeah. He backflips over a grizzly bear.
Which is crazy because you're not supposed to chase him, let alone jump over him. But Bakula throws all caution to the wind.
He's a real Left Eye Lopez, that's Bakula.
Never one time during this montage of him running does his ankle turn and like fall in a rabbit hole or anything.
I'm in montage.
He jumps on, he gets to the other side, he sees the semi, he jumps on it, of course, and he knocks the driver out of the cab with less than 3 minutes before the explosion. And then all of a sudden, Murphy's there at some rad-ass old vintage Jeep.
Can I interrupt you just for a second?
I wish
Because
that you would.
I don't want to miss this.
Please.
As he was running, I wrote, "Run, Forrest, run,"
Because he's running
because
in the
he's
forest.
in the forest.
He was in the woods.
Yeah, he gets it. We all get it.
Hey guys, I'm trying to prime the pump.
I appreciate that.
This lawnmower isn't starting very well. I'm trying to prime the pump.
Gotta pump the prime. Murphy sees Holbrook chasing the semi in his vehicle, and he joins the fight by ramming Holbrook off the road.
Oh, my.
And then the generator or whatever in the back of the semi is becoming increasingly unstable, and Jeff decides that the only option is to drive the semi off of a cliff into some water, saving the day. Right?
Yeah.
They really give you a lot of shots of the semi going off the cliff, and they should, because like you were saying earlier, Dustin, there's some hard work. There's some cool,
for sure.
practical, real stunts happening.
For sure.
If you're going to blow up or, crash a semi, you're going to get a lot of coverage of it.
They
what
probably had
multiple
14,
angles.
14 cameras at least.
Yeah.
What would you guys do if you were indestructible? What crazy shit that you would do?
Skydive without a parachute.
Yeah.
I'd stand under that bridge all day and all night.
I don't need a heater. Wop, wop, wop.
I make that money, motherfucker.
How often do you get an STD test? I never have to, motherfucker.
I wear a mask.
It's just my hand.
The semi is pulled from the ocean, and Jeff's body...
I use golf gloves. I'm fine.
Golf gloves? Jeff's body's taken to somewhere. I don't know if it's the ISA or whatever. And they give him like light therapy because they're like, this is what heals him.
Oh, he went to sunroom.
So, just a sunroom?
Yeah, he's tanning.
Everyone thinks he's dead, but he's not dead. He's alive.
Yeah, everybody thinks he's dead. His son thinks he's dead. He's like,
Yeah.
no, and he's
No,
like,
He's like,
Dad.
oh,
No.
nuts.
but and then he he's walking by
Yeah.
Karen, and she goes to touch him, and he just fucking gives her like a shoulder, like fuck you, bitch. You know what I mean? And they all stand in front of the door, and all of a sudden the sheet starts moving, and he's like, hey guys,
Boner.
let's have some McDonald's.
Or McDonald's or Chinese food. So they all go out together. It's like Murphy, Eric, Karen, and Jeff. And
Yeah,
then
they all
Mr.
skip out of the building together.
Yeah. And so they're at this Chinese restaurant. And you know what I was really disappointed? It was the Chinese guy who came to the table. He sounded like an American. Don't you want to see a Chinese guy?
Like Christmas Story?
Yeah,
don't want to serenade you?
Well, I want to see a Chinese guy struggle with the English language a little bit.
And the show can't end without Nolan Ryan.
Yeah,
the dog.
Mr. Bellagio from the ISA shows up with the dog, and where'd you find him? He's like, we have our resource. What the fuck does that mean?
And then they're like, oh, where's his the bandage for his? Well, ironically, his ear's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and then he shoots laser beams out of his goddamn eyes and incinerates him.
Guys, I think we have ourselves a little bit of an eye dog. Am I right?
Hey yo,
eye dog.
I diggity dog. My owner had some alien gas and now I'm dead.
Man. I've watched it twice now. That's 3 hours of my life.
No, you're welcome.
St. Peter will be like, hey, welcome to heaven. Yes, looks like you watched Man for 3 hours.
You deserve to come in.
Why didn't Man work?
Well,
Man.
I think it could have worked.
Okay.
The pilot's too long.
Yeah, it's pretty lengthy.
It shouldn't have been a movie. It should have been...
Just make a solid 45-minute pilot.
Yeah, there's too much going on. We don't need to meet the mega boss Holbrook immediately. He can be teased, and it's
we don't need to meet the moon.
There you go. Inspector Gadget.
What was that guy's name?
Dr. Claw.
Yeah.
I'll stroke you next time.
Under the bridge.
I'll jerk you, Gadget. $10, Gadget. Now, if you want that little girl and that dog too, I'll give you a buy two get one free. Do you take Venmo, Gadget?
Actually, I just got my Venmo credit card.
Well, congratulations
in the mail.
to you.
I'm a businessman.
Now you can start jerking off freely throughout the land, leaving virtually no paper trail. Yes, it was a little bit
He did have
long.
a steel hand. That guy could give
fierce
he had
all
a
day.
steel
Dr. Claw just,
That's who Joey Kramer grew up to, the emotionless man with a steel hand that jerked people off. No reactions whatsoever. Blake, if Man had survived, where would you like to have seen it gone?
This is the problem that I have is we know he's indestructible.
Right.
You know, and yes, we know his weakness is darkness, but like every week he's going to succeed. He's going to be the $1 million man. It over and over again.
But don't you know that watching anytime a CSI is on, or like the $6 Million Man or MacGyver's never going to MacGruber it and get blown up in a missile shot. He's always going to get out of it.
I know, but
So let me ask you: are you guys Superman fans?
No, I don't like Superman. Is one, almost at the top of my list at the people I don't like. As far as superheroes.
Well, because that makes sense then, because this is a Superman syndrome where I find it kind of boring. I'm a Batman guy.
Yeah,
I like a guy that doesn't have abilities, that just has a lot of kick-ass toys and a good attitude.
you didn't ask me, but I'm going to tell you. I hate Manute Bol first.
Manute Bol,
and then
what about his son Bol? I'm not joking.
I know.
His name.
Bol.
Boba Fett.
I don't like Superman because he's too overpowered. But I don't feel like Scott Bakula is overpowered. He just can't die, really. But I feel like there'd be ways to test that. Maybe next week we chop his goddamn head off.
Maybe we tie him underneath a bridge and see what happens.
Yes, Superman won't say.
Maybe we completely dehydrate him by jerking his cock meat off.
Can't.
Maybe we put
reproduce.
Maybe we put a little boy in front of him and see if that's one of his.
Good Lord, we have to move away from this segment immediately.
Hey Dustin, I know you podcast with Jason a lot.
Yeah.
If you ever want to move the segment along, just say something about little boys.
Okay.
The button always gets pushed.
It's a good way to keep the show moving. Final Descent. This is
That's
where
what he said.
That's right. Decent is what I think you meant. This is a part of the show where we say not other people have seen Man. Fuck.
At least a dozen.
Dustin and I saw it a year ago.
I made my wife watch it, so that's 4 right there.
My wife watch.
But actually, it was your fiance who watched it
At the time, yes.
Other people.
And I like how you said you made her.
Well, I picked the episode.
Did you?
No, she usually only has a say in about half of the shows that we watch.
Ooh,
the other,
that's my kind of woman. Just keep your mouth shut and watch what I tell you to.
Yeah, I pick out ones that I know she won't enjoy because they make for funnier episodes.
Hymen is in IMDb. Dustin, what do you think people from around the world rated Hymen on a score from 1 to 10?
5.2.
Blake?
6.5.
6.1. And that's from a number of ratings that I apparently forgot to make note of, so I will not mention it.
3.
Viewer reviews, it has to be 5, a minimum of 5. Viewer reviews, I knew I wasn't crazy. I was laughed at when I said I remembered a show from the 1980s where a guy was in an accident and absorbed some chemical that would regenerate his cells so he could never get hurt or get tired. Obviously, this show was short-lived because no one remembered it. I didn't know the guy was Scott Bakula either. I'm sure this show isn't on tape anywhere, but I loved it when it was on. Kind of a $6 million man takeoff. I win my bet. This is from March 29th, 2000, a time before the attacks on the Twin Towers.
Yeah. Pepperidge Farm and myself remembered.
And I apologize for always referencing 9/11. Another viewer review, a show I've never forgotten. This is from April 7th, 2004. They say essentially it was a feel-good family show with a kick-butt sci-fi premise. I would have been fascinated to have seen this, would have gone forward, and would have loved to track down a copy of the pilot. And of course, with Scott Bakula in the lead, you can never go wrong.
I'm going to write a review asking what happened to that lady in the closet. I want to know her story.
Allison Holbrook?
Yeah, where's her follow-up episode?
This is what you do. You type in Allison Holbrook and then nude in Google and see what comes up.
Will do.
Just, hey, you know what? Word of the wise. Scott Bakula, pre-Quantum Leap days. This is from March 22nd, 2002. Just like Exo-Man and The Man with the Power. A darn shame because it's one funny and cool movie that shows the range of Scott Bakula as an actor. Exo-Man. Do you remember Exo-Man?
Yeah. He had that big, huge, clunky robot thing.
Literally, the first couple of episodes we saw was
Right.
Exo-Man.
Yeah.
We're talking 5-6 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember it really well.
I remember Exo-Man, too.
Huh?
The final one says, you know what? I'm not going to read anymore. I don't feel like reading anymore.
Little kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to S27
You want another one?
Airport. Local time is
Want another
11:11,
one?
and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
We're done. We give up. We surrender. This is the end of the program. Blake, do you remember the grading scale? And if so, would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. We rate this, I give our ratings based on the wonderful television show Wings. It's a 1 through 7, 1 being worst. That's Roy Biggins. And characters all the way up to number 7, Brian Hackett. That's the best you can get. And with that, that's how we grade the shows.
Every pilot falls between a 1 and a 7. Dustin, you are a guest. We turn to you. How do you rate a men?
I gave it a Woody Harrelson.
A Woody Harrelson. So that is on the previous scale that Kevin had set up for the show Cheers.
Oh, that's not continuing?
No, it's not continuing. That was a temporary scale. So you're saying a number 5.
Yeah. It's got Bakula. It's got coffee creamer jokes. It's got Joey Kramer in his prime. It's got a lady knocked out in a closet. I mean, they're goulets galore. It had a lot going for it. It's too long. Chop it up. It could have been much better, but yeah, I enjoyed it as a kid, and I enjoyed it the first time that I rewatched it. So, yeah.
5 it is.
Or I'll give it a 5.
That's a solid score. Captain Philip Restisher, I turned to you on your return voyage with Couch Pilots. How do you rate I-Man?
I return to the show giving a bump that's never been gave before.
It's not an Allison Hole bump.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
It is not.
Laser beam bump?
No. This is a stunt bump. I think the stunt work in this, mostly in the helicopter scene and the whole truck, was really good.
There's a lot of budget there.
It was really, and the people that were doing it, God, I hope they didn't die. And I was glad on Interesting Facts you didn't say that 3 stuntmen died. So I'm giving it a stuntman bump. It was way too fucking long. The beginning of it was quick-paced, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as we get on that fucking airplane to get to the castle, and by the time we get out of the castle, way too fucking long. They don't care. They just seem all nonchalant. I'm going to give this, with a stunt bump, I'm going to give it a 3.
Oh, a 3. Wow. Okay. I think the length really hurt you, didn't it?
You know what?
That's what she said.
That was on purpose. Me? Well, that's funny you should ask. I-Man is long, but here's the thing. I-Man is not Batman. I-Man is not Superman. We don't know I-Man, so we need an origin story. And then you can't just have an origin story and like, I love this. I want to see more of this. You have to have some action in it. Unfortunately, it was almost an hour and 40 minutes long. That's a very long pilot. It is too long. If there's some way they could give us the origin and a little bit of adventure and action in that first episode, I think it would have fared a little bit better. But Scott Bakula is just charming and delightful on camera. Is this really his first television appearance? For me, it's hard to believe that they would give an unknown a full hour and a half Disney movie, but right. Scott Bakula nails it. He is great. It's Disney. It's family friendly. There's a kid involved. I think children are key in some family friendly films. I'm not going to move the show along based on having a boy involved, but I think there's a lot of great stuff here. You have like the semblance of a team. You have a man with sci-fi powers, and apparently the kid has those powers too.
And the dog.
And Nolan Ryan, the dog.
That dog threw 7 no-hitters.
And that dog could throw a punch too. Don't charge the mouth.
He kicked Robin Ventura's ass.
He put a paw up. He put a paw right across that fucking guy's face.
Put him in a headlock and just bam, bam, bam. Just like giving a hand job under the bridge.
Come on, guys.
How many times can we fucking reference?
We got to earn a living, right?
I kind of liked I-Man.
Good.
And I think I'm going to have to agree with Dustin on this one. I'm going to give it a 5. It's pretty solid. I think, Blake, your stunt bump you gave was super well earned.
Yeah.
They really deserve that.
If you don't have an hour and a half, just fast forward to like the last 20 minutes and watch the stunt work on this. It's really worth it.
I agree. And with Dustin's 5
yep.
and Blake's 3 and my 5, we close the book on I-Man. And we will never mention that show again.
Over a 4-point something average, math-wise.
We don't do that.
I know.
We don't do that, and we round up
but
on the
Woody
ages.
Harrelson. No. Rhea Perlman.
For the guy who doesn't even have a scale on his show.
He's fucking hijacking his plane, man.
Hey, you know what? We don't come on your show and make you have a measuring...
Mainly because we're not invited very often. Okay?
Well, I haven't been invited back to Dishing Disney because there was so much editing that you need to be involved.
Yeah, you were on the Ernest show that we told you about.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a rough one.
Ernest goes to camp?
Ernest goes to jail.
That was a good one.
I ate a lot of Christmas candy at your house.
Something that night.
Yeah, something happened. Join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Secret Talents of the Stars.
Ooh.
Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Celebrities compete in a talent show which reveals their hidden talents. Whoops. You can find the entire episode of Secret Talents of the Stars by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube. Blake, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. Contact the show, won't you please? Look, you have enough time to listen to the show.
Yeah, you're in quarantine, for Christ's sake.
Surely you can contact the show.
Don't call them Shirley.
Most overrated film of all time. Go to couchpilotspodcast.com.
Why? Because O.J. Simpson was in it?
Because because the glove did fit in that film. If you go to that website I said before Blake mentioned OJ, it has all of our past programs there. It has contacts to our Facebook, Twitter, has our email address. You can get a hold of us. Blake and I are very easily accessible. If you want to start a personal relationship with Blake or I, you can do it.
Oh, it's very easy.
You can do it. People have done it, and you know what? We're easygoing guys.
Sure.
I used to be gay. before I met these guys.
Until I went to gay camp.
Can we get that drop just to use in perpetuity? Okay. Call us at 910-PILOTS-1. We've got a voicemail, I believe, next week that we're going to play.
That's cool.
And it's 910-745-6871. Leave us a voicemail like the guy that you'll hear next week. It is a fella. Of course it's a guy. Lori Garcia doesn't call us anymore. And you will receive frequent flyer points, which you can use for goods and services rendered.
Cha-ching.
Also, patreon.com. It's a website that we did not create, but we do participate in which you can give us money, and we will spend that money. Mm-hmm. I need to have a financial conversation with you after the program, Blake.
Sure. You can have it all if you want it.
That's fine. Dustin?
Yes.
You're one of our most frequent and favorite guests.
Oh, well, thank you.
And also with you. Is there anything you'd like to say at this time? Is there anything you'd like to promote? We love having you on, and we thank you very much for doing it.
It's nice to be back. The last time we did the Spike Jones show or whatever, and that
wasn't that long ago.
It doesn't, but it seems like it was.
Yeah.
Just the world we live in, and I enjoyed
Land of confusion.
Yeah, I enjoyed the episodes you did with Kevin. I still see you on a regular basis, but I don't get to see Blake as often, so it's nice to sit across the table and share some awkward glances and hand job jokes with him as always.
Yeah, they're just jokes.
Yeah, but no, it's a pleasure as always, and feel free to check out the Ernest P. World Preservation Society. You guys did a great job of promoting that over the past month, and we got some fun episodes coming up. We're going to be doing an entire script read-through of Ernest and the Water Baby. It is a 100-plus page full script that was never made into a movie, and we are going to read it verbatim over the course of 3 episodes.
Wow. That's you, me, and other guests of this very program.
People
Hoover Boss
want to hear this.
The 3 of us do this program together, and we're going to have to all read this. Wow. That's like 30-plus pages a piece.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's going to be over the course of 2 episodes, hopefully?
3 episodes.
Thank God.
We're gonna act it out. We'll have stage directions and everything. I got to work on my grizzled Southern woman voice.
Hey, Blake, do you know where I can get COVID-19? You can say CVS?
Club Cabaret.
Club Cabaret. Yeah, go get some skanky broads to lap dance me and get me sick.
My inspiration is going to be the old lady in Mystery Men that just says, "Junkie."
I haven't seen that in 20
or
years.
Ann Ramsey from Throw Mama from the Train.
Ann Ramsey.
Yeah.
Still alive.
Owen. You don't have a cousin Patty.
It's pretty good. It's surprisingly good. I don't know how many hours you spend in front of the mirror practicing your Ann Ramsey, but that's pretty nuts.
More than I'd like to admit.
Blake, you're back on the program. Not a moment too soon. Do you have sometimes you take the end of the show for a little segment for yourself to talk about something you're interested in?
No, well, I do want to say thank you to everybody that was involved, and like Kevin for covering for a lot of them. Adam Z and his co-host, they did a great job. All the people that you called and interviewed and stuff, I do appreciate it, and I definitely appreciate you letting me do that. I couldn't pass up Utopia. I mean, it was a lifelong dream come true.
I didn't know what was going on with you, but now I do, and I totally get it.
Are you a lot less concerned now?
No.
Okay.
Same amount of concern.
A lot of stuff happened.
I'm still pretty concerned about you.
A lot of stuff happened on the farm, but. No, I honestly really do appreciate, and I appreciate there was listeners that reached out to me and made sure I was okay, and because we didn't give any explanation or whatever. But like Dee, we had our annual Christmas beer together on Christmas Day. We FaceTimed each other. We had a beer together, and was super cool. And we talked a little bit about female serial killers, which I love too.
I thought you were going to say female circumcision.
Well. We almost talked about that, but
it organically comes up a lot with me.
Okay. But thank you to everybody, and thank you to the listeners for being supportive to everybody that was filling in for me. So
that's awesome.
And thanks for being here, Dustin. It's been a long time.
Yes, Dustin.
Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, this pilot may have been rough, but it is always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you next week.